blessings and abundance. What's the number one reason people are not millionaires? Let's think about it. Give me the number one reason. The number one reason people are not millionaires, the number one reason people have not amassed an incredible amount of wealth is simply because they don't train or practice for it. I want you to think about it. People do not train or prepare themselves to become millionaires. That's the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem. You might be saying, how do you train? How do you practice? How do you prepare to become a millionaire? It's extremely easy. Now, I need you to consider something, right? I'm going to show you why it's extremely easy. Let's say, hey, don't forget I'm on the live. Let's say you see something in this space. And so they say 95% of the people on Earth, 95% of the people in America particularly, I should say, will never amass wealth. So only this little 5% has wealth, right? So if 95% of the people never will have wealth or be in a position to amass wealth, and only 5% of the whole population will achieve or amass some kind of wealth in their lifetime, that doesn't mean it's hard to become wealthy. That actually means it's easy to become wealthy. And the reason why it's easy to become wealthy is because if only a small percentage, I need you to really think about it, if only a small percentage of people, if only 5% of the people can achieve wealth or have achieved wealth or will achieve wealth, and the other 95% will never, that means the 95% have something called a monopoly. They have a monopoly on ignorance. They have an exclusive right to the lack of knowledge. 5% have access to that information, which means it's actually easier to become wealthy and harder to be poor. And I know that sounds weird, but it's actually easier to be wealthy because only a small percentage of people have access to it, which means there's plenty of space for more people to be wealthy. When we think about becoming a millionaire, people be kind of acting like we're running out of money, so there's not enough space for other people to be millionaires. Now, let's go back to the original point. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to train for it. You have to prepare for it. What does that mean? Well, if I'm boxing, I don't plan to be in the amateurs my whole life. I'm not going to box purposely to only be an amateur. I'm going to go to the amateurs under the pretense that I'm going to develop my skills so I can go to the next level. If I'm in school, I don't want to stay merely in the intermediate level. I don't only want to stay in second grade. I don't only want to say I like third grade so much, let me do it 3 times. No, you go to school under the pretense you're going to go for higher levels of education so you could take it to the next level. That's what we're going to do. So money has to be sport. Likewise, if we play basketball, a lot of us play basketball recreationally. But those who want to play professional, they prepare. They indulge in sports medicine. They eat a certain way, they drink a certain way, they practice a certain way to achieve their goals. So we're going to be honest. What has any of us really done? What have we actually been taught to achieve the goal to be great, to achieve the goal to amass wealth? When you're really thinking about it, no one has been trained or prepared. We just, when it comes to money, we just hope we get it one day. We don't know the prerequisite steps that we must take in order to train or in order to prepare. So again, the boxer has to be on a certain dietary regimen to make weight or to lose weight. To build muscle mass, the basketball player has to do similar things. The football player has to do similar things. But when it comes to money, we don't think it takes any level of preparation. We just think, hey, let me get a job and hopefully get a raise. And clearly 95% of the people got that wrong. Clearly 95% of us got that wrong. So now, what are some things that we need to do that are prerequisite to our success? In order to amass wealth, you have to prepare yourself like you're about to go into that boxing fight, but only in terms of money. The same way the boxer trains, the same way the basketball player trains, you need to be training to be wealthy, meaning you need to already consider things that people that don't intend on being wealthy do not consider. Like, for instance, how many accounts do you guys got? You guys should have 4 more accounts. And I know that sounds crazy. You should have an income account. You should have an expense account. You should have an income account. You should have an expense account. You should have a payroll account. And you should also have, let's say, a savings and or tax account. Maybe shared. 4 different accounts I just mentioned right there. That's not even enough. Why you need an income account? Because that's where you're making your money from. Right? But you need a payroll account because it makes it easier for your CPA to see what the freak going on for the people that, of course, you have to cut checks to. You need an expense account to handle that which you need to facilitate and or sustain your business. You want to compartmentalize these things. And then you also want to have what? You want to have the tax and the savings account, so then you don't have to have a large sum of money to pay the tax man after you've accumulated so much money over time. Because that's what they look to do, stick you up. So you always take a little percentage, or you always keep a percentage in mind. That's what you do. Okay? So these are things you never get taught, because these are things people want a lot of money, but they don't behave like they do, have intentions to go in that direction. So you're not supposed to be a championship fighter before you become a championship fighter. You're supposed to train to become a championship fighter. So you have to your behavior has to be reminiscent to that of a millionaire before you become a millionaire. I hope that makes sense. So you should also be reading publications such as Barron's newspaper. Make sure you subscribe to it. I don't write it. I'm not selling it to you. Barron's newspaper. You should always have a Forbes magazine, Barron's newspaper, and Kiplinger's magazine. Make sure you go online and purchase those. Kiplinger's magazine, Barron's newspaper, and Forbes. Subscribe. That's your reading material to build up the muscle memory, to see the opportunities that exist, to keep yourself in the know about hyperinflation and food inflation. Okay? Keep yourself in the know. Then in terms of retirement plans, you shouldn't allow these people to set up retirement plans for you. You should already have your own retirement business model at your disposal. So not those traditional retirement accounts and 401ks that they attempt to sell you on. You should have something that's called a QRP, or Qualified Retirement Plan, which is a cash and tax deferrable compensation arrangement plan. It's a pension plan that allows you to behave as a trustee of your own savings, so when you want to access it, you don't get penalized. A lot of times when people want to access their pension monies that's theirs for their retirement, they have to be subject to penalties because they don't want you to take those monies out, because they're investing your money the whole time. That's supposed to be for your retirement. 2, if you wait until the time you retire to walk into the hundreds of thousands of dollars that you should have in retirement, because of hyperinflation, the money won't have the same impact in real time. That's why you should invest intravenously throughout the course of your pension planning. Furthermore, if you wanted to invest some of those monies, let's say you wanted to do a distribution, they will still give you fees and penalties. Distribution meaning you want to take some of your pension out and buy a house or something. They still going to give you they're going to tax you sizably just to take your own money out to purchase a home. But when you got a QRP, or Qualified Retirement Plan, a cash and tax deferrable compensation arrangement plan, what's going to happen is you could roll over your contributions, meaning you can transfer monies from your pension into your investment, or for investment purposes without the penalties. That's called rolling over your contributions. If you get a life insurance, right, which is most of you got death insurance, you should be able to invest in things using your life insurance, using the equity thereof. Okay? Most of you do not get the type of insurance where you could borrow against the plan or borrow against the policy. What borrow against the policy means that you invested in an insurance policy that, yes, in your absence, other people will benefit, but you don't have to be dead for people to benefit. When you get a policy that you can borrow against, right, like a whole life insurance policy, then you can make money off of your insurance policy while also securitizing the future of your family. In fact, I always say this, I've been saying this for years, if more brothers and sisters particularly black men, got insurance, they would stop before the police brutality, because your families would be getting paid out millions of dollars because you're paying a few hundred every month. Imagine if every time a Sean Bell happened, or a Mike Brown happened, a Sandra Bland happened. Imagine if every time police violently kill us, they had to pay us out $2-3 million. They would be making the black community rich beyond imagination, because they would have to cut those $1 million checks for killing us every time. So we just got insurance policies in itself. They would have to perpetuate and facilitate their racism differently, because murdering us senselessly would be us getting the bag. And they do not want us to have generational wealth. But we don't have these kind of ideas, and because we're not trained to have or employ wealth stewardship, which is generational wealth. Hope you guys share the video. Another thing is to make sure that you guys are bankable. By being bankable means to have 3 revolving accounts and at least 1 installment account. So 3 revolving accounts are what? Let's say credit cards, okay, where the interest rates can fluctuate. 3 different credit cards. And then let's look at 1 installment. An installment can be a bike, a boat, or a house. The criteria for the financial system stipulates that you are bankable if you have 3 installments and 3 revolving accounts and 1 installment. That's the criteria for being considered as a bankable person. These are the things that you learn from me as your mentor as well when we do the credit restoration program, and I get you access to anywhere between 50 grand and 300 grand, plus that you do not have to pay back. But the biggest part of the program is not just getting the monies that you don't have to pay back. The biggest part of the program is the fact that I'm coaching you and preparing you for the money coming in so you can amass wealth and employ wealth stewardship, meaning generational wealth over time. And you also get a caseworker that'll be assigned to you to cater to your specific needs and interests. Then you have that site where we give you a site where you could track your results, see the deleted items as they're removed and the positive items as they're added. Okay? The most important thing that I offer is the coaching, because this is the type of information that makes sure you never get put in a precarious situation again when it comes to the world of finance, because it's stressful when you can't use your name for anything. And then those of you that start being able to use your name, you're going about it the wrong way. Because I can tell you on paper, I'm completely broke. So when people say, no, he's not really rich, he's broke, I absolutely agree. And what does that mean? Control everything, own nothing. When you're poor, you want your house in your name, you want your car in your name, you want everything in your name. When you start amassing wealth, you realize you was doing it the wrong way. You should be protecting your personal interests, protecting your personality, protecting your person, protecting your identity, protecting who and what you are. So your name speaks volumes wherever you go. If anytime you actually use your personal name for a credit endeavor, it's because you're using your name or your entity, who you are, as a manager and agent to your company. So in other words, you're leveraging opportunity for your company. So if I want to get a vending machine as a primary trade line, I'm going to get it for my business to build equity into the business by being able to be approved for a loan by way of my business, because they see that I've been able to manage my payments for my arcade machine or for my vending machine. And in doing so, I may have used my name as the manager and agent to cover for the company, but when it comes to the it's not going to be a matter of transparent Equifax looking in there and seeing how it's going to impact me immediately. It's going to be a matter of the DNB number for your business. And then when I get the LLC, which I don't like those too much, but when you get the LLC, right, then you can make your LLC a trustee to your trust. And more you keep disappearing or fade into black, and now the operating or the manager and agents would be one business for the other. And then that's when you start learning about UCC 1 financing statements to make maybe your debtor, your LLC, and your creditor your trust, meaning that your LLC works for your trust and you just work for them all. So that's how you control everything, own nothing. And in doing so, you mitigate the risk of being overtaxed or taxed completely. Or you're able to defer taxes through insurance and through real estate. Because for every $100,000 that you make, they're going to want $35,000 off the rip in the tax world. So you make $200,000, they're going to want at least $70,000 out of the $200,000, leaving you with $130,000. So what do? You might set up a custodial account, because up to 250 grand can be held in a custodial account and it doesn't have to be taxed. Okay, a 529 account, you can set that up, a college fund account for your child, have access to it. Anything inside of $250,000, they won't tax that either. You can set up an insurance policy that you can borrow against, and then those monies don't get taxed. So there's several ways you can go around deferring taxes or mitigating the risk that I call taxes, legally and responsibly. But who cares about these things if you're of the mindset that you're never going to have that type of money? So we can't behave like we never have a certain amount of money and then still require the universe to give it to us. We have to be practitioners of the same. Hope people are walking with me, man. I know I'm talking some, I know this is just different conversation for most people. Okay? Are y'all walking with me? Just want to make sure you guys are walking with me. Let me make sure you guys are walking with me. Yeah, okay, just making sure. Because, you know, people are into gossiping and into all that. Yeah, you go to brotherpolight45@gmail.com. You leave your full name and your phone number when you're ready to spend your $2,000 to get access to the 6 figures, the mentorship, the caseworker. Yes, $2,000, and we'll have that. That not only is the money is important, the money is good because you want to be able to invest, but it's the credit card equity that we're going to help you get, where you have credit card monies available and at your disposal to do what you have to do. It's the monies you don't have to pay back, which is amazing. But oftentimes what happens with people, they have money coming in, but then I have to help them with their business infrastructure. So most of their monies doesn't get taken out because they're not used to accumulating that amount of revenue. So therefore they don't have the right financial structure or the business chassis to assume the role of a wealthy person in real time. And in fact, they'll wind up owing $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000, maybe even up to 100 grand just in taxes alone because they don't have the right tax shelters. So we have to prepare like this in real time. Yeah, you go to brotherpolight45@gmail.com. Leave your full name and phone number. You're ready to spend your $2,000 to make that money and acquire generational wealth. But it's the knowledge that's the most important. Because all you're going to do is fuck up the money, part of my language. You're just going to mess up the money when you get it. My number one thing I always tell people, don't take the mentorship for granted. Don't just focus on getting the money and doing nothing with it. You're going to bring all the clothes and stuff in? Yeah, I'm going to be there in like, give me like 10 minutes. Then I'm going to dip right back up. Yeah, I got to do that too. Yeah, I'm here, people. Can I DM you the email in the middle of this? It's brotherpolight45@gmail.com. Brother Polite. I'm gonna pin it. Hold on real quick. Maybe you can screenshot it when you get the opportunity. I'm gonna stay in the car, Mel.
So, how are you, boss?
I'm doing good. Ken, how you doing? I remain blessed. I remain blessed. So you, brotherpolite45@gmail.com. Leave your full name and your phone number when you're ready to pay the $2,000 so you can get access to at least 6 figures that you don't have to pay back. And then another 6 figures worth of monies from credit cards without the implications of the other ones. Like the implications I mean is late fees. I'm gonna help you get credit cards that don't have late fees and credit cards that you can turn the credit reporting off. Think about that. You'll be able to turn the credit reporting off on those credit cards. See if you could just park over here, pull over here, because I'll be done soon. And then, okay, yeah, leave your full name and phone number. You'll get access to those monies. You'll get a caseworker that's going to deal with your credit exclusively and immediately. And you're also going to have me at your disposal as your mentor. Can I save the video, please? I'll definitely upload the video for you. Okay, but leave your full name and phone number when you are ready. Your full name and phone number when you are ready to purchase the $2,000 service. That's correct. That's correct. It's my man Jay right here. You always got me. Yeah, I'm gonna do this for like another 5-7 minutes, and then I'm gonna get dressed and then head back so we can make our moves. Yeah. Join the crew. Make that money and you automatically a member, man. Because I make sure everybody is making money that's around me. Yeah, I'm here, man. So I give a lot of free information. People don't realize it. People get so spooked and overwhelmed that I charge for the service. Because when you get the service, what I'm making available to you are the loan officers that push things through for you if you're having a problem getting the loans yourself. People that help you fill out the applications on your behalf, because application fees, other people are charging $500 or more just for the opportunities that exist for you to get money. Now you may say, man, why am I getting charged $500 to get access to monies that I don't have to pay back if it's government funded, if it's an IRS tax credit, if it's from the Treasury as a credit to us, if it's a forgiveness loan, if it's a grant? How come people are selling the application process for $350 and $500? Because they purposely make the application process difficult for you to get your monies. Mace out, I got you, Mace out. So they make it difficult on purpose. They make the verbiage, they saturate it in so much legalese, it's intimidating, and you're more likely making error because people who need that money normally don't have the money to be paying $500 for that application. So they say, or to pay somebody the money that's more fluent in the jargon so that they could achieve the results they're looking for by applying. And then once you fill out the applications wrong, then you got to go through the process again, and maybe the program won't be available. It's done like this on purpose. It's done like this on purpose. I swear to you. I swear to you, it's done like this on purpose. Okay. You go to brotherpolight45@gmail.com. You leave your full name and your phone number when you're ready to purchase the $2,000 service to amass wealth, to get access to anywhere between 50 grand and 300 grand that you don't have to pay back. Over 100 grand worth in credit cards without the implications of late fees, and you can also turn off the credit reporting. And if you're able to have credit cards that don't have late fees and also turn off the credit reporting, then that means that your credit card becomes a financial tool, a device that you could use to also invest in. Because once you get those two things out of your way, the credit reporting and the late fees and penalties, once you remove that from that paradigm of the credit card world, then when you have a $50,000, $100,000 credit limit on your credit card, now you could go in and you can invest in the opportunity and amass wealth as well. So between the monies we help get you that you don't have to pay back, and then also the credit cards that we get you with less implications and higher amounts of monies allotted to you, as well as the caseworker for educational purpose and catering to your specific interests and needs to remove negative items off your report and add positive items to your report, thereby boosting your credit scores, and then also having me as your mentor to prepare you for the monies coming in and for your credit card equity, and devising plans, working business models so you will never have to look back again. And then you also have the website where you can remove negative items from your report, add positive items to your report, and boost your credit scores. The combination of all these things provides for a very powerful, lucrative future. Cannot lose. $2,000. Oh, and I know you guys love that testimony from the brother who did 25 years in prison, who got a new house and a new car thanks to Brother Polight. Over $200,000 thanks to Brother Polight. But guess what? I got some more powerful testimonials. Not of another brother. I got another brother who was incarcerated for 8 years. And he just got his monies. He got a little under 300 grand. And yeah, what people want to do is say, these can't be for real. But I always say, yo, leave your tags, leave your Instagram name. Make sure they know you've been in existence for a while now. But at the end of the day, the knowledge is the proof in the pudding. Because how many of you knew about QRPs or qualified retirement plans until I spoke about it? How many of you knew what was a cash and tax deferrable compensation arrangement plan before I talked about it? How many of you knew what mortgage hypothecation is before I talked about it. How many of you ever had sat down and been taught how to use a mortgage calculator before I did it for free for you guys? How many of you knew about credit card redlining and balance transfer options, and that there's more than TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, and FICO when it comes to credit bureaus and financial institutions that impact your ability to be given credit and larger amounts? How many of you can honestly say that you knew about LexisNexis? Spelled with I's. LexisNexis. Okay, LEXISNEXIS. Or check systems. Checks, CHEX systems. How many of you can honestly say you learned and you knew about check systems and LexisNexis before I taught about it? You see? How many of you can say you knew about smart credit cards before I talked about it? So I'm just saying a combination of these things. Maybe you knew about one or two of those things, but let's be for real. I'm really be out here sharing a plethora of information to empower you. How many of you knew that you could boost your credit score just by changing your mailing address using a FedEx UPS address? And yeah, we don't stop working for you at the 90-day mark. We keep working, but the goal is to just keep building and building and building. But what I got not only the loan officers available to you when you need it, so you don't have to pay them. So if you're having problems getting loans by your immediate or your local banks, which most of you do, I got loan officers as part of a network of loan officers that help push your stuff through legitimately. I also have CPAs that's on deck for some of you that have tax issues and afraid of the monies that you're about to get. How could you get your monies if you're already implicated in tax scenarios? Okay. We also have scenarios of people with divorce and child support going through all sorts of stuff. So what happens is when I ask for 10% on the back end, so if I help you get 300 grand, I say pay me 30 grand. If I help you get 20 grand, I mean, well, that's $2,000. I help you get 200 grand, that's 20 grand. I help you get 100 grand, that's 10,000. That money that I get on the back end is for all the people that's working on your behalf for free initially. So yeah, you're paying me the 2,000, but you couldn't seriously think the 2,000 is all that we need to facilitate service. Your mailing procedure costs anywhere between $640 to $680 by itself. The mail costs that much because we sending out the mail, registered mail via signature confirmation, green card receipt. And that means when you send it out through registered mail goes through a chain of custody, thereby confirming that at least 3 people witnessed the fact that this mail was being sent to the recipient. And in doing so, that's a play that we make so that we can hold the bureaus accountable if they act like they never received the mail, because then that's a $20,000 to $30,000 fine for every letter that they disregard. Things just have to be done the right way, you know, so we can send the mail out with a return address from an attorney's letterhead, and we send out compendiums, memorandums, and affidavits. Okay? Compendiums, memorandums, and affidavits with an official attorney's letterhead, return address, registered mail, signature confirmation, green card receipt. We're ensuring that they don't want to cough up by default 20, 30 G's on every letter, and we're sending about 30 plus letters out on your behalf for 30 different significant reasons to remove those negative items off your report. And again, this for those of you who say, oh, I got good credit, so I ain't got to worry about it. Many of you don't know what good credit is because you only think about change. You know, I'm checking out my this site that I have monitor my credit, and I'm like, bro, there's 30 different institutions. You only looking at TransUnion, Experian, Equifax, and FICO. Let us do our work. Nothing's going on so far. Nothing. I'm like, over 30 bureaus, nothing's been going on. It's the same shit every time with people. Relax. I want to get that money like the other brother did. Then relax. Chapter 1 is light work, so don't worry about those forms of bankruptcies. Okay? Go to brotherpolight45@gmail.com. Leave your full name and your phone number when you're ready to purchase. Never contact us if you're not ready to purchase. It's okay. There's no shame and no harm in it. Don't have us call you and think you're tricking us into teaching you how to do all the steps by yourself, like we don't realize we're on the phone that long with you. You want some type of reassurance that you ain't getting got, then research everything that I'm talking about, and then come to terms with the fact if everything I'm saying is absolutely true when you look it up, if the advice I'm giving you is absolutely accurate, then use your sense of mind. But it's the same people who say these things that when I look in a credit report, I'm like, how come you didn't have this level of skepticism for all these different people that you owe thousands of dollars to? You didn't have that skepticism for the student loan that got you in debt $80,000, or the medical bills. You thought you was just going to the hospital to get checked out and they was going to show you a little love, and they charge you for the ambulance and they charge you for the bed and they charge you for the food, and it's a buku dumb amount of money. You believed in them. Or for the car note, or for the predatory loans of your bank, telling you, oh yeah, we're going to now give you the opportunity where you can have overdrafts, but they're not telling you that the overdrafts are about $35 every time you have an overdraft. Each day that is still in overdraft. So you only needed $200 that you didn't have. So you allow your bank account to go negative $200. Thank goodness they let me spend that $200 I didn't have. So now it takes you 10 days to save up $200, but unbeknown to you, the overdraft fee is $35 every day. So if it took you 10 days to come up with the $200 that you owe them, now you've accumulated $350 more in debt that you have to pay back to get your account into the positive. So that means you finally saved up to $200 and you still owe $350 more. You owe more than you owe when all you needed was $200. Predatory lending. And that's not the only form of predatory lending that these banks do. Thank you, MPO Creations. We on point with you. Mad these banks do this. Some of these banks ain't even banks in particular, like PNC Bank. A lot of you got that PNC Bank. It's on the East Coast. That shit's a storefront when you do the paperwork. You heard what I said. I said what I said. That shit's a storefront. Operating as a bank. Santander. And you guys with the HSBCs over there, Hong Kong, Singapore, Bangkok, this shit crazy. Negroes is going to Hong Kong, Singapore, Bangkok, HSBC, China. Them niggas all united and they got their own bank. And the Negro ain't involved in it, and y'all over there putting your money in that bank. Wells be getting people too. Every time I look on people's credit report, it's the same banking institutions compromising them from bull crap that they sold them to. Yeah, so it's greasy out here, man. It's predatory lending everywhere. Oh yeah, you want a car? Let's see if there's any lenders available for you. But they're not telling you that they're getting $15, $20 for every inquiry. So since they're getting paid for every inquiry, they don't have to sell a car. All they have to do is make sure they run you up 20, 30, 40, 50 people. Oh, we look to see if some lenders are interested in you. Bitch, if 3, 4 people say no, probably 10 people going to say no. And if 10 people say no, why you tried another 20? So now you got 30 different inquiries, and they done made probably $600 or in or around off of you. I'm blocking you, you bitch ass nigga. That's who I'm blocking. I ain't blocked one person. You getting blocked. Goofy ass. People are so disrespectful, man. But again, you go to these people pages, you see them teaching nothing. They have nothing to offer. I always say, do your due diligence. Look up what I'm saying and see if I'm saying anything that's inaccurate. It's what I need to lie for if I'm teaching nothing but truth for hours. And again, I always ask, who's teaching you these things? At this rate. I know, man. Who's teaching at this rate? Yeah, you always got to keep up with your credit monitoring systems. If you turn it off, you compromise the integrity of our system, because then you lock out our system. You got to keep the monitoring. That's another part of practicing the right behavior. You should always have monitoring services on your identity. We don't want to have to double back because somebody compromised your identity. The second you work with us, we show you, look, it ain't our company. We just suggest, hey, get a monitoring plan for your whole identity so you can get a red alert, a flag, some kind of notion, a beep, to let you know something doesn't look right. Because what we don't want while we're working for you is something to go wrong somewhere, and then we gotta wait for that to clean up to continue or proceed working on your credit. Yeah, some other people don't listen. I would say most of them, unfortunately, in this day and time. But yes, it's $2,000. Leave your full name and your phone number when you guys are ready. I get ready to make another play. Blessings in abundance. Talk to me nice. Eat Luvu. You already know. You already know. This is what we do. Okay? This is what we do. We don't never play games, people. That's one thing. One thing we never do is play games. We don't never play games. We don't play games. Well, my guys and them, they play all sorts of video games, but I don't play games, man. I don't play games. This is just a light 12 grand because things gotta be done. We done blew through 9 already today. We gotta make some more moves. No doubt. No doubt. You know how we do things, man. Yeah, this what the young bulls like seeing. And people get mad, but there's nothing wrong with prosperity. There's nothing wrong with being wax wise with wisdom and being so wise that you're able to translate that wisdom into material success for the benefit of your friends and your family and well wishes. Don't get it twisted. Just because somebody is conscious doesn't mean that they have to be poor. I'm too smart to be broke, and it costs way too much to be poor. I love you guys. I hope you've benefited greatly from what I've shared. And believe me, this conveyance transcends the vibrations you feel now. Just imagine when you get in tune with us more immediately, we're going to take you to the highest level. You already know. We don't play no games, man. That's a light 12 bands. That's nothing compared to what we're doing. It's all about that credit equity. Blessings in abundance. I appreciate you. A lot of free game. Share this video. I'm about to upload it to the page. I know you guys said make sure it stays up. Thank you, brother Liquid Cash. I appreciate you, my brother. Another brother I'm proud of. You guys make sure you tap in with Liquid Cash. Spelled with a K. Liquid. Okay? Tap in with him. He has a lot of game. A powerful book to uplift you. Make sure you tap in. And he's a brilliant young mind. Tap in with the young brother, man. Got his own Sprinter business. Got his own publication. Okay, got his own name brand that's fly as fuck. Cash is King. Super dope. So I'm super proud of him. These are all things he didn't have when I first met him. And I started mentoring and talking to him, and he took one idea, like you tell a child in this analogy, not that he's a child, you tell a child, but we're all children when we start learning. Or we have to have that kind of disposition to accept that we don't know, because the more you know, the less you know. The more you learn, the less you know. Okay? And so you tell a child 2 + 2 = 4. If that child could tell you what you told them 2 + 2 = 4, then they're smart. But if that child is intelligent, they could take 2 + 2 = 4, and then it can also deduce. So 2 + 2 = 4, then 4 - 2 = 2, and then 4 - 2 = 2, and 2 + 2 = 4, then 2 to the second power = 4, which means 2 × 2 also = 4. And so that's intelligence, and that's what I say about my brother Liquid Cash. He took a few jewels and a lot. So he's yet another brother that's doing incredibly great, and I'm proud of him. Okay, and I didn't even go on to say all his other business